Hey ArcheryTalk, this is Lucas, and today I've got for you my review of the Mission MXR hunting bow. This bow, as you may have seen with my unboxing and some other things, retails for about $500, which is approximately half the price of the flagship Mathews bows, Mathews and Mission being the same company. And so I've had this bow for a few weeks right now. I've had a chance to put several hundred arrows through it, and so far my impressions of the bow are really quite strong. What excited me about this bow in particular is it borrows from Mathews' CrossCentric cam system. They're not exactly the CrossCentric cam bows that you've seen on the Triax or the Halon series bows, but they borrow a lot of the same technology, and ultimately it helps this bow have a smoother draw and a nicer draw cycle than you would expect out of a bow in this price point, in that $500 price point. I wouldn't call that a cheap bow by any means. I would call this a mid-price bow. It's the flagship of the Mission line. And for me right now, it seems like a great overall value. I've been really happy with this bow. I'm trying to think here. The only real issue I've got with this bow, I'll get that out of the way first, is there's a little sleeve on the cable for the top and bottom, so it doesn't where it hopefully won't rub on the cam. You can see it here. I'll zoom in close for you in a second, and there's already a little bit of damage on there, so it is rubbing on the cam a little bit, but that's why they put that protective sleeve there. I suppose if the sleeve gets enough damage, you can just pop a new one on. You don't have to put it in a press or anything to do that. There's a little slip down the middle. But it feels like maybe that shouldn't be rubbing on there. And I would imagine if this was on the Mathews high-end new bows, you probably wouldn't see that so much. But again, you're paying half price for a bow. There's going to be some small issues you'll have to deal with. Beyond that, the riser feels really nice. I'm not seeing any faults or any machining issues whatsoever with the riser. It looks nice. It's probably a little bit less refined than your Triax or your Vertix or your Halon series bows. But overall, I have no complaints with that. It's got a new grip this year for Mission. As does, the grip, I would say I actually like it better than the grip that was on the Mathews Triax and the Halon that I had tested the last couple of years, although it's not near as nice as the new grip that's on the Vertix and the other new bows Mathews has released for 2019. But it's a little thinner than the old Mathews grip. It fits my hand pretty well. It's a little more rounded than I would like, but that's my only issue I've had with that grip so far. I've been able to stay consistent with it, which is really all I want from a grip. It feels just fine in the hand. As I mentioned, the draw cycle itself is pretty smooth. I will say at full draw, it feels a little more aggressive than I would expect than at least I've experienced with some other Mathews bows. So I wouldn't call it jumpy, but if you're not pulling through, you might run into some problems. But it's ultimately going to help you become a better shooter if you're pulling through anyway. So I wouldn't call it the end of the world on that. I ran this bow through the chronograph because I wanted to see how fast it was going to be. Mathews lists this bow with a 324 foot per second speed at its maximum draw length of 29.5 inches. So when I put this thing on the draw board, I came up just at about 30 inches. It might be a 16th short of 30 inches. And when I ran through the chrono, I actually used two different arrows. So first I used my regular hunting arrow, which is a 460 grain gold tip kinetic chaos. And that bow saw really nice speeds from that bow with that arrow for me. I saw 282, 283 feet per second with that bow. Super impressed. That's about the speed I like from a hunting bow anyway, with that heavier arrow. That still gives me great speed and usually pretty good broadhead flight. So I was stoked to see that from the Mission. And then when I put on the 350 grain kind of my IBO weight arrow, it's a gold tip platinum pierce, and I saw really nice speeds. I saw 324, 323 feet per second, which is exactly the number Mathews advertises. Now this is about a half an inch longer in draw length, but it also has weight on the string with a peep and a D-loop and things like that. So for me, I think that really actually exceeds what you would expect from your IBO numbers on there. That was really impressive. Now, as you can see, Mission/Mathews sent this bow to me outfitted already with accessories. They call this their Bowhunter Kit. And it comes with a pretty nice Tru-Glo Carbon XS sight. It's a 5-pin sight. The pins move really easily. This is not like your super cheap sight you'd find on a lot of package bows. It's really quite nice. In fact, if I was buying a package bow, this would be the kind of package I would want. You're going to pay a little bit more money up front than you would for some others, but the end products are so much nicer. It also comes with a QAD Ultra Rest. I believe it's the Ultra Rest Hunter, and it's got an Apex 5-arrow quiver, and it's got a little 365 stabilizer, 3-inch stabilizer up front. It's a really nice package overall. Everything like I would happily hunt with any of those items on that bow anytime. To me, with package bows, the issue I find is that the sight is usually not very good. I want to change that right away, and that's going to cost more money in the long run. Spend a little more and get stuff you could actually use for years to come and use happily. It's really overall great stuff. Beyond that, I've been super happy with this bow. I've had a slight issue tuning it with my Kinetic Chaos arrows. I'm getting a little bit of a horizontal tear. I want to try some other arrows on that, maybe with a 3-fletch design. I've been shooting a 4-fletch just to make sure I'm not getting any contact on that. The bow is actually shooting very well for me out to 40 and 50 yards. It's grouping really nicely. I'm just not getting that tear through paper that I would like to get, and I've not shot broadheads through it yet. Broadheads with this setup yet to see how those are going to fly. But that'll come down the road with some more testing. But for first impressions, I'm again super happy with this bow. A really good value at about $500. As I said, that's about half the price of a regular Mathews flagship bow, maybe even a little bit less. So if you, anyway, thanks ArcheryTalk for watching. Stay tuned for more videos on more hunting bows and target bows coming up for later this year and early in 2019. And we'll see you soon.